Greetings, Eric Bakker, New Zealand naturopath, author of Candida Crusher. Thank you so much for tuning into this video again today. It is still New Year. It's amazing how fast the years go by. I got this brand new shirt for Christmas, so I thought I'd put it on and do a video. This video is quite an interesting one today. It's going to be called The 7 Factors That Accelerate Aging, or 7 things that I think really can push the aging process along quite a lot. So I want you to pay particular attention to this video because there are some interesting tips in this one that may help to slow that aging process down. Right? We're all going to get older and we're all going to die. That's inevitable. But a lot of us don't want to look like some old fart, by the time we're in our 30s and 40s. I've seen too many patients over the years and been actually shocked at how some of them had an accelerated aging process through different things that affected them. Some of those things we're going to talk about today on my list. Number 1, sugar. Well, I don't really need to keep beating the drum about why sugar is bad, but refined sugar is in a lot of processed foods. And you only have to go to Dr. Google and type in sugar and health and realize how bad sugar really is for your health in so many different ways. One of the interesting things with sugar is how addictive sugar really is. Sugar is put in probably about 3/4 of processed foods. And it's put in there for a very good reason. Because people like this stuff. Right? People love it. Well, I like sugar, but I prefer to have honey from my beehives. So I've got several beehives in my yard, and we harvest quite a few pounds of honey each year. And we use that honey. I use it in my tea. I might use it with cooking. But refined sugar is an entirely different kettle of fish. When I spent time in Australia travelling around, I can remember going up to the sugar farms up in North Queensland and talking to some of the sugarcane farmers. Very interesting talking to these guys, these guys were telling me how healthy sugarcane really is. But by the time we harvest the sugarcane, crush it, get the juice out of it, and then boil the juice and thicken it, and then extract, the goodness from it, we dump all the goodness. In fact, the goodness is called molasses, and that actually goes to the pigs. So pigs get to eat that. By the barrel load. It's incredible. And the farmers said that the pigs that are fed on molasses, in fact, when they're slaughtered and they open them up, they're very clean inside. And they're very healthy animals. But when hogs get fed on commercial food, he said they're full of parasites. He said, why don't humans eat more molasses and stop eating this refined crap? Sugarcane juice is consumed in a lot of countries. For example, in India, when I travelled to India years ago, I saw people crushing sugarcane juice in these mills and then drinking that. And these people had perfect teeth and good gums. So sugarcane juice contains sugar, sucrose, but it also contains a whole lot of different minerals in it and vitamins in it. It's actually a prebiotic food, sugarcane juice. When you start eating the refined white sugar, the crystalline white sugar, it has got no nutritional value whatsoever. It's got a very high caloric value, so it makes you fat. And it stimulates different parts of the brain for you to want to have more sugar and more sugar. So, turn of the century, sugar was very, very expensive in 1900. So people would just get very tiny amounts. So the average consumption of sugar in 1901 was less than £1 per year per person. The rich people could afford it. Today, people consume 2 to 3 times their body weight in sugar per year. And as a result, we've seen massive health problems as a consequence of this huge sugar consumption. So my recommendations for you are to do what I do, is to grow stevia as a plant and to put that in salads. Get used to natural sugars like stevia and honey, and try and keep away from foods that contain added sugar. Research at the Cornell University years ago found that sugar had a very powerful depressing effect on immunity. Literally within minutes of eating sugar, your white blood cells, they start dropping off in activity very quickly. So sugar also, we know, is one of the big ones behind yeast infections, because yeast love sugar. They thrive on sugar. But so do many different parasites like Blastocystis hominis, Dientamoeba fragilis. These guys love sugar. So every time you're eating a cookie or you're having a soda drink or something with sugar in it, you're feeding up all these bad bugs in your body. You're depressing your immune system. You're adding to belly fat. You're going to really accelerate your aging in a big way. Your kidney function declines, your liver function declines. All of these functions decline when you consume refined sugar. So don't do it. Number 2, smoking. Well, again, there's no point elaborating on, smoking. Smoking is probably one of the most destructive things you can do for your health. Probably apart from being like Homer Simpson and working in a radioactive plant, nuclear plant, that's pretty destructive, working around really toxic chemicals and toxic environment. But tobacco smoking, I think in New Zealand alone, we have something like 12 people die every day from tobacco-related illness, just in this small country. It's chronic how many people die from tobacco. It's disgusting. So tobacco is one of the most powerful ways to create free radical damage inside your body. This accelerates aging probably more than any of the things I'm going to talk about would be cigarette smoking. You only have to look at a guy or a woman who's around 45 who's smoked for 10, 15 years, and you'll see all the lines in the face all around here. You'll see the lines around the eyes. You'll that chronic cough, that they have. And you can smell people sometimes a mile away before you can even see them because the nicotine coming out of the body, it's terrible. So smoking is on its way out. We know that a lot of people don't smoke anymore. Not like when I grew up in the 60s, everybody smoked. So pretty dumb if you still smoke and you want to look good when you get to 60, 70. It's just not going to happen. Number 3, you're not going to believe what this one is. It's divorce or separation from a relationship. That's one of the most powerful ways for you to accelerate your aging, is to go through a divorce. But the same thing through a bankruptcy or a prison term, going to prison. These are major stresses in life. If you look at the top 10 stresses, they're quite serious. The first one is death of a loved one. And then, we've got all these other stresses, getting married, getting divorced. These are all stresses, but particularly divorce. Divorce is number 2, I believe, on the 100 list. So divorce creates a massive amount of stress for the body. Massive amount of stress. Many people who go through divorce don't really think it through carefully and think of the long-term, effects that are going to occur after the separation. It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough on the mind. It's pretty tough on the body. It's pretty tough on everybody around you. It's almost like an earthquake or a tsunami. It just comes, it creates a massive destruction, and then the aftermath can take years or decades sometimes, for the effects to recover from that. So what happens is you get a huge amount, a surge of cortisol and adrenaline, and other stress hormones will increase in the body. And this will go on and on and on and on, sometimes for weeks or months or even years, these stress hormones go on for. This is going to push a lot of different processes down in the body that maintain good health. We know again that you get poor immune system functioning from high levels of cortisol. We know that for sure. We know it affects your blood sugar, it affects your cognition, your emotion. Many things get affected with high cortisol. And eventually, cortisol can't maintain that elevation forever. So eventually it goes into decline and decline and decline. And so does the person's health. So does their energy. So does their sleep. So does their libido. Everything starts dropping down. And at that point, the person may get severely depressed beyond many medications. So divorce is a major way to accelerate aging. Have a look at some of your friends or family who separated, and look how they looked when they were happy, in the early stages of the relationship. And then look at them going through the divorce proceedings, what happens. And then look at them a year after the separation. Take some photos and have a look. I think you'll be quite shocked. I've noticed this with several of my clients over the years, that when I saw them back many years later, I was actually shocked to see the difference in them after the separation occurred. The fourth one is sun exposure. So again, people back in the 50s and 60s, when I grew up, everybody worshipped the sun. Now we need to we realize how dangerous the sun, like tobacco, we realize how dangerous it really can be. So solar radiation, especially too much when you're young, will come back and haunt you when you get older. Your skin will lose elasticity. You look terrible. You look really aged and old and haggard by the time you get to my age, if you've been lying in the sun a lot in your 20s and 30s. So be aware of sun exposure, particularly if you're looking this and you're quite young in your 20s. Try and understand that what you're doing now to your skin will come back and bite you in the bum when you get to my age. All right? The fifth one is anxiety, especially phobias or fears about things. And again, this is a very powerful way to push up your stress hormones, a very powerful way. So it's incredible. Out of this 7 listed, 2 of them, one's anxiety, one is stress. So anxiety is something that you really want to deal with, especially if it's taking over your life, especially if you think you need medications for it, or it's really affecting your social or your professional life. It needs to be sorted. You need to talk about it with people you care about, and also maybe some healthcare professionals who can help you through this. Everybody has fears of some degree, but it's good for you to tackle some of these fears and try and overcome some of these anxieties. Try and find out what the root cause is. So again, you don't want to drive these hormones up. So remember that the brain, particularly the feeling emotional part, is part of a system we call the limbic system, which involves about 4 different parts of the brain. So this is input coming in, and this in turn is going to affect your endocrine system, your hormone system, and your immune system. So if the data coming into you is scary or freaky, or and in most times anxiety is imagined, it's not real, it's going to have a major effect on what's happening inside your body. So my recommendations are, if you've got anxiety, is to learn to relax a lot more and do something like yoga or Tai Chi. Go for a daily walk. It's going to help you tremendously. Try and find the root cause of the anxiety. Is it something you're scared of doing? Is it a person in your life? Is it your job? What the hell is it? Find out what it is. Often there's something underpinning the anxiety. If you can sort that out, that can give you a whole new lease of life. Right? You'll find that the people who look very young and beautiful in their 50s, 60s and 70s are often the relaxed people. The people who tend to cruise through life. People who tend to exercise regularly, eat good foods, get plenty of sleep. Right? Think about that. What are we on to now? Number 6, drugs. Right? So we're talking all kind of drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, recreational drugs. I mean, drugs have been around for a long, long time. When I was a kid, it was heroin and cocaine, and now you've got all these crazy drugs like methamphetamine. I don't even know all these brand new ones that are coming out all the time. People take pharmaceutical drugs for a reason, but in many cases it's crazy, when you think about it. And even more so, pharmaceutical medications, many people are slaves to these drugs, and they take drugs for years and years on end. Drugs have a fantastic way of poisoning the body, poisoning the liver, poisoning the kidneys, poisoning the blood vessels. This is going to create an early demise. This is going to create accelerated aging. You need to really understand this principle that really good health and to maintain a nice youthful appearance, drugs play no role in your life as far as I'm concerned. And if you are on a medication long term, try and talk to your doctor about it to see if it's possible to come off some of these medications. Right? I've seen some stupid, crazy things done with people over the years where people can stay on a drug for 10, 20 years, and they don't come off. The doctor forgot to take them off. The last one is stress. Now, I've spoken a lot about stress in other videos, and I'd like you to go back and look at some of my videos on adrenal fatigue or stress. Stress is probably the archetypal cause of accelerated aging. It's the number 1 cause in my opinion. Now, stress comes in many shapes and forms, but as I always maintain in my videos and in my book, the biggest stresses we face are the emotional stresses, right? These, in my mind, override any kind of other stress in our life, whether it's nutritional stress or toxic stress or any kind of stress. It's the emotional stresses. Right? We go to bed thinking about crap. We wake up thinking about crap. We go to Google looking at crap. What comes into the mind, the data input, very, very much affects the output of the body. So start reading nice things on the internet. Start relating with nice people in your life. Work with a boss that you really like. If you've got crappy relationships, try and improve them with people, because this is going to take a big edge off the stress for you, and it's going to help you to relax a lot more. You'll sleep better, you'll eat better, you'll feel better, and you'll look better when you get older, right? You don't need Botox to look good. You don't need one of those Kardashian butts to look good. You don't need big boobs to look good, or pec implants, or any of that kind of crap, all right? So think about that. Think about stress in your life. Start thinking about how you can tackle that and what some of the key issues are that are affecting you if you do have stress. Every patient I see has a stress of some kind, and I like to uncover that stress. I like to expose it. I like to talk about it. And sometimes people say, what are we talking about this crap for? I got a bellyache. And I say, yeah, well, you just told me that you hate your boss and your wife's really annoying the hell out of you, you know? Well, you got problems there. Don't you think that's related to the bellyache? Got nothing to do with it. Think about that. You've got to start seeing the cause and effect of the, you know, the psyche and the soma, the physical things, you know, are being affected by, you know, the mind things. There's the connections big there. But stress is what I'm going to leave you with, and it's the big key one. So for 2017, you should try and make it your year to deal with the big problem, whatever that is in your life, okay? If you can deal with that big problem and fix that major stress up, that's going to help you tremendously in the years ahead, right? Big time. Thank you so much for looking at my video. I appreciate it. Give me some comments, and if you want me to talk about specific topics, I'm quite happy to do that. Thank you again.